Hi everyone, I'm so excited because today I am answering your questions that you guys sent me, and this is all in preparation for the launch of 30 Days to Paid that is happening soon. So make sure that you are receiving my emails at paidcopywriter.com. You can sign up and get on the list to be the first to know, because I'm so excited to open doors, but I wanted to first answer the questions that you guys have sent me. So here is concern number one: feeling that I'm not ready and that I don't have enough of an online presence, whether it be website or LinkedIn. So this is a really common fear or something that holds you back. So there's two things I'm going to say about this. From a really tangible perspective, if you don't feel that your web presence is ready, the best thing you can do is set deadlines for yourself of when you are going to have each thing complete. So in my online course, you're going to get a calendar, and it's going to give you, if you want to land a client in 30 days, here's how long you should spend on each thing. Meaning, here's how long you should be spending on your website. Here's how long it should take you to write your samples. And the reason I do this is because if I don't set out that framework or that timeline for you, it can be very tempting to work on your website, keep working on it, keep tweaking your samples, having all of these excuses to keep working on tweaking your online presence instead of taking action and just jumping in and cold pitching and starting to work for clients. So that's the first tip, is set deadlines for yourself. And because I started my freelance business from scratch, I can reasonably tell you it should not take you more than a week to create your website. It should not take you more than 4 days to write your samples. So I give you realistic timelines. And while none of that stuff might be perfect, let's say I give you a week to create your freelance website and you don't feel like it's good enough, I still would rather have you take action, because the person that gets ahead and the person that gets the client is simply the one that goes after the client, that sends the pitch. You can improve as you go, but if you're constantly trying to make everything better, you're just going to stay in procrastination mode. The second part of that is not feeling like you have enough of an online presence or not feeling like you're ready. It's all mindset. You need to tell yourself, hey, even if I'm not ready at this moment, or if I don't feel ready, maybe I'll never feel ready, and maybe I should just give this thing a go. When I started cold pitching on LinkedIn, yes, I had a sales background, I knew the principles, but I had no idea what kind of responses I would get. I definitely had to tweak my pitch to make it a little bit better. And I did see results quickly. That's why I wrote you guys these templates that I share with you guys, because I want you to know exactly how to get a response from your cold pitch. But it's always best to stop telling yourself that you're not ready, because you might never feel ready. The only time you actually are going to know what to do is if you go out and have that trial and error and really understand, okay, I tried it, it didn't necessarily work. What can I adjust? Okay, number two, am I good enough? Why should any company want to work with and pay me to write anything when there are other copywriters in this niche who are more experienced and knowledgeable than I am? So this is really common, and I'm so glad that this question is asked, because it's such a misconception. And I think the older I get, the more I realize about life that it's not the people who are most qualified who get ahead. It's the people who are pursuing it and taking action and just doing it. If you look at a lot of the people who are really successful, there's nothing really that special about them or their background a lot of the time. It's that they had the idea, they had the desire, they went for it, and then obviously a million other factors had to fall into place. But the point is that sitting there and wondering if you're not good enough is the biggest waste of time. Yes, there's always going to be somebody better than you out there, but they're not necessarily going to be the one who gets the opportunity. Life is so filled with really, really smart people who never make it work, who never succeed, who never get out and do the thing they want to do, even though they have so much potential. It's the people who just take the action even when they're not ready. it's not the writers who are good enough. It's the writers, honestly, who can market themselves, who can communicate with a client, who can build trust with a client. And that's not to say, oh, if you're a sweet talker, you can schmooze your way into anything. You'll eventually have to work with clients and deliver the work. So it's not just about smooth talking. It's about whether you do the thing, you take the chance, and whether you give it your all. It's not necessarily about being the greatest writer. Some clients want to work with writers who listen well, who communicate, who meet deadlines, who are able to grasp their voice and tone. And maybe they're not the strongest writer on earth, but they don't care because they like working with that person. And just from personal experience, as you know, I have hired writers and added writers to projects for my clients. And the one writer who I always reach out to when I have a new client who's looking for more writers, they're not some expert PhD writer. I just know they're reliable. I know that if I reach out to them, they're going to create decent work, that it's going to be on time, that they're going to answer my emails, that I can always rely on them to meet a deadline. That stuff counts for so much. And it's like that saying, so much of life is just about showing up. And here we are so afraid of being perfect. It's such a waste of time. Okay, next question. I feel shammy. I fear rejection. I feel like I'm pestering clients and I'm having difficulty making my message sound unique and interesting. So this is another huge misconception, a huge false fear that you are pestering clients by reaching out to them. Now, I was in sales for the majority of my professional career before switching over to becoming a copywriter. I have had really nasty things said to me. I have been literally kicked out of buildings because I used to be a field rep out in the field. I've had people treat me really bad as a salesperson. Never once in my years of copywriting and cold pitching on LinkedIn have I really had anyone be rude to me. The most you will get is, no, I'm not interested, thank you. So I don't know if it's because marketing people are just friendly, but most of the time you're not going to get that bad response. So let's just take that one fear away. If you are providing a service that they need, which if they're hiring copywriters, if they are producing content, they need what you are offering, you are not pestering them. And 99% of clients that I connect with and get on a call with end the call, or even start the call sometimes, but they always end by saying, thanks for reaching out to me. Thanks for cold pitching me. They literally say the words, thanks for cold pitching me. Sorry, my computer screen fell off. They really thank me for reaching out because they just saved me the time that would take me to search for a freelance writer. So if you actually proactively cold pitching and making your service available, you are helping them. And there's people out there that say, well, if you provide value, you are doing a service. Okay, that sounds nice. You provide a service, but really, these are people who are searching to hire writers who have a need. They do not do this right themselves. They cannot do this right themselves, and they need what you are bringing to the table. So you are providing a service that they definitely need. But you always want to inbox somebody needs you at that moment. No. And if I also suggest sending no more than 2 follow-up messages, you want to be, as I say, talking to yourself, and people's DMs, if they don't answer, and I have the same template playbook, go to copywriter.com and download my template playbook. I tell you exactly how to follow up without being obnoxious or anything. But something that I have in that template playbook is this message that actually says, hey, this is the last time we following up. Would love to work with you if you have a need in the future. Please reach out to me. It's a very cordial, friendly way of basically I call the last chance follow-up. And actually I hadn't done that until a writer did it to me when they were cold pitching me, and I was like, I like that. And it worked. It actually worked. I passed them on to the client who was hiring the writer. So I know it does work, but also you want to be cognizant or keep in mind that if somebody isn't responding to your pitch, it might just mean they're not in the market for a writer at the moment, and you just move on. You keep pitching other clients. Okay, so though I've had a great career strategizing marketing solutions for clients, I have always been terrible at marketing myself. Yeah, this is a huge thing, and it's something that plagues writers. And this is where I struggle too, is like, we can so easily write for other people and create websites for other people and try to express other people's ideas. But when it comes to talking about ourselves, it can get really uncomfortable. And it's like that saying, you can't read a label when you're inside of the bottle. Sometimes we're just so close to what we're doing that we don't have that outsider's perspective to really be able to clearly articulate us and what we do. My number one recommendation, if you are having a hard time writing your website or filling out your LinkedIn profile, is to find other freelance writers who are doing what you're doing and model your stuff after how they speak about themselves. Do not copy, do not copy, do not copy. I'm not suggesting that at all, because that will backfire. But get inspiration, and it'll get you out of your head, and it'll give you that researching ability that we already do for our clients, and it'll allow you to do it for yourself. In my online course, I teach you the exact contents that need to be on your website, and I do it through the frame of, hey, when a client looks at your site, here are the pages that they immediately jump to. And this is backed by data that I got off of my copywriting website. When you build a website on Weebly, really easy website builder, you do not need to be a web developer. I had never built a website until I had done my writer's website. So I needed something so easy, so drag and drop, so intuitive. So I used Weebly, but it gives you some very basic stats. And I could see from those stats, what is the most visited page on my site? Where do they navigate to next? So when I teach you guys what to put on your website, it's based on that, right? Because I don't want you spending 5 days writing an About Me section on your website if the client always just reads the home page and then jumps to your portfolio and then looks for a way to contact you via your Contact Me form. So I understand the whole feeling of, okay, I feel I can't market myself. It feels so unnatural. So my number one suggestion is to definitely look at what other writers are doing, how they're marketing themselves, how they're positioning themselves. That's number one. Number two is you have to get out of your head and stop being afraid to talk about yourself and hype yourself up and communicate your value. And what I mean by that is that this is a process of selling yourself to your clients. And that's something that's so freaking awkward for the majority of us. And as an introvert, the only reason this wasn't so tough for me, I think, was because I had that sales background. But the thing is, when you are talking about yourself and your strengths and your specialties, you're not being cringe and you're not being braggadocious and weird. You're literally doing the client a favor because you are articulating what they will get from working with you. So you're doing them a favor by being really clear about your strengths and what you can bring to the table. So part of it is, okay, I just don't know how to write about myself because I'm just drawing a blank. And then the other part, I think, is that a lot of writers don't want to be braggadocious. They don't want to be egocentric. They don't want to hype themselves up. And we have to get past that. You have to be able to clearly articulate your value as a writer. And that's not hard. It's just going to take some preparation, some research, and practicing your elevator pitch. And I have a whole module within my online course called Client Call Confidence, where I literally take you through exactly how to prepare for a call, navigate a call, what you can expect on a call. Because I think that's the key to confidence on calls, is being prepared for them as much as you can anyway. And then the final question I got was, I keep taking webinars and I keep tinkering with my website instead of taking action. So that's, again, very similar to the first question of I don't feel like I'm ready. And again, you already heard me say that the key to that is taking action. But what a lot of writers miss is that you need a plan. You need an action plan, and you need to stick to that plan at least until you start to see some results. And I always give the analogy of working out and being in the gym. A lot of the trainers that I follow online will say, well, if you do random workouts, you can expect random results. You need a workout plan. And it's very tempting to go on Instagram and do all of the cool, fun looking workouts. But really what you need to be doing is the basics and the fundamentals. And that's just like freelance writing. It's like, we can consume all of this content and these people give strategies, and those strategies can really be great, but unless they are implemented consistently, you are probably not going to see results. So you need to set the proper foundation, whether it's my plan or somebody else's plan or course. You need to be in some type of program where they say, hey, we're going to start here. You're going to take these 5 steps, and by the end, if you send this amount of cold pitches per week, you will end at this result. You need something that's going to take you from point A to point B. And that's really hard when you're just trying to do it on your own and you're pulling information from all of these different free resources online. The number one thing that's missing in a lot of freelancers' success and their ability to get high paying clients is that they are not consistent. They haven't figured out their positioning. They haven't figured out the market that they're trying to get into. They haven't gotten really clear on who their ideal client is. Once you have those two things dialed in, then you can go full force. You can use my cold pitch templates that I provide in the course, and you can do that a certain amount of times per day. And just by sheer numbers, you are going to get a result. You're going to get a response. And mind you, if you're not doing it right, meaning your website has red flags, your pitch sounds robotic or spammy or whatever, it sounds automated, then you are not going to get the results. But that's why it's important at that point to have a troubleshooting guide. And that's something I have in the course too, is like, hey, if you've sent 10 cold pitches a day for a week and not one single person has responded to you, go through this checklist and double check that you have all of this stuff. Is there spelling errors in your website? Is there something that makes you sound like you don't speak English fluently? Is your LinkedIn photo not professional? Is your headline not showing up in search results? We want to work backwards and troubleshoot and see what's not working, because after a certain period of time, just by the numbers game, you will get a response from clients if your online presence is set up properly. And if you are not getting those responses, you have to pinpoint what you're doing wrong. So go to paidcopywriter.com and make sure you are on my course waitlist so you can be first to know when I actually open doors, which is going to be soon. And I'll have more details, but just to give you behind the scenes, I'm opening the course so that it's continually open instead of me launching live and having to open doors, shut doors, all that stuff. So that's why it's taking me as long as it has, because I'm setting up the course for constant enrollment versus just once or twice a year like it was before. So check me out at paidcopywriter.com if you are not receiving my emails, because there's inbox gold going out every week, and I want you guys to be first to know when you can enroll in the course. And I would love to bring you in and mentor you and give you that one-to-one communication. All right, have a good day. Do you want to start landing high-paying freelance writing clients on LinkedIn? I have a free guide for you at paidcopywriter.com. Just go to paidcopywriter.com and go to the free download section. The link is paidcopywriter.com/LinkedIn guide if that's easier for you. But it's a free download that's going to show you step by step the steps. Wow, that's a lot of steps. Step by step, the steps. Step by steps, a roadmap for how to use LinkedIn and get yourself properly set up on that platform so you can begin confidently reaching out to your ideal clients and build the freelance business that you've been wanting to build, becoming self-employed, becoming a person who gets paid to write for a living. Download that at paidcopywriter.com/LinkedIn guide, and I look forward to seeing you there. Bye.